Please stand by.
I've been receiving strange reports of odd
I'm set.
Now has mounted a full counterattack.
Establishing battlefield control. Stand by. Primary objective achieved. Welcome back, Commander.
Understand your hit? Fox. Last one. Take right. Merge. There's another one. Bingo.
Good evening, folks. Welcome along to another TACT round. This evening's competition will be between the Motor City Pit Vipers MCPV and the number 15 Battleaxes. We are here on the Persian Gulf. The mission is going to be Kesham Island versus Al Ain Airfield, as hopefully you're about to see. There we go. So in front of us is the terrain and the infamous bubble. So Bullseye is just between Ras Al Ghul and Sharjah International. I will die on the hill that is Ras Al Ghul. For anyone new to TACT, we have a team of two teams of 6 aircraft. I think nearly everybody is ready to go here. We will run through who those folks are in a moment, and they are taking off from opposing airfields. So number 15 Battleaxes are here in the south at Al Ain. They're almost ready to go there, I think. And then up north on Kesham Island, we've got the MCPV guys. So again, we'll run through exactly who is flying for whom in just a moment. So before we do that, with me, I'm happy to say again, is my good friend and longtime wingman, Mr. Octuplefire. Good evening, Octuplefire.
Hello.
You are welcome along, sir. So the airfields, as we say, are about 150 nautical miles apart. In the middle of that is this 90-mile diameter bubble. So the rules are that when aircraft enter the bubble, they may not leave and come back in again. So once you enter it, you're expected to fight within it, and then you're good. going to get a final confirmation from both sides that they're ready. I think everybody was quite keen to get in this evening and actually got ahead of the stream a little bit, so I had to give them a hang on a minute. We're just a little bit behind. So I'll get this confirmation. And then we will pick up our patter. I think my luck, comma, good confused Skinner there. There'll be a proper good luck in a moment. Come on, guys, come on! I mean, I'm 90% sure they're ready to go because I just called it, but I would just like a final confirmation here. There, perfect. Alright, and with that, I am doing some weird clicking. Hang on, let's get rid of that. Alright, so that is our round started. As we say, for anyone unfamiliar with TACT as a concept, we've got this bubble in the middle. Winning conditions are to either have air superiority of the bubble for 5 minutes, so there's no enemy aircraft within, or that you wipe out the enemy aircraft entirely, so all 6 jets. After achieving one of those 2 conditions, the winning team must then recover to the opposing team's airfield. So in the case of number 15 at the moment, they'll have to recover to Kesham, so at 150 nautical mile away. And then in the case of MCPV, they'll have to recover down to Al Ain. So what we've seen with these matches thus far in TACT is that we get a lot in terms of missile economy and fuel economy. So not only do you have to kill the enemy, you have to have the fuel to recover. So let's talk a little bit about the squadron's background. There we go. While we get started and they start moving towards the bubble itself, so we'll start with MCPV. Alright, so MCPV, with very interesting loadout here actually, on this initial Hornet. Seems to be very light on ordnance and fuel actually. I'm going to come back to that in a moment, but Octuple, would you do me a favour in the background while I go over this this little intro for the squadrons and just have a check of the loadouts, please, sir?
Yeah, hold it.
Alright, so Motor City Pit Vipers. So this little bio has been given to me by the squadron themselves, so it has been founded by 2 US Air Force veterans. Motor City Pit Vipers are a casual group to meet weekly for PvE missions, Thursdays at 2000 Eastern Time, with several servers based in Atlanta, Georgia, and hosted by Fox 3 Managed Solutions. Nice to get the plug-in. They've always got something up and running. Happy to be a part of TACT. This is their first foray into tournament PvP, so we wish them the best of luck. Their team this evening make up of 4 MCPV regulars and 2 mercenaries. So the regulars, as my notes tell me, are Blah, here in the front, Luck, Nova, who I don't see listed there. I'm guessing that's BG BF-18, and then Tugboat, and they are then being helped out by 2 mercenaries. So Delta 4, and somebody who is missing. I think we've missing one of the names of the pilots here. Yes, my notes say that Doge 4 will be bringing a wingman, so unfortunately we didn't get that final name right before the game started. So, little thing about these pilots, as they're getting to about 15-ish miles now from the bubble, and number 15 are about 12 miles out. Let's actually come back to the pilots in a moment. Let's talk about number 15, while they spread out. So number 15 Battleaxes, and as they have provided to me, as they have simply put it, they are brothers in arms, rigs and life in general. Lovely phrase. Their passion for combat aviation binds them together to fulfill their dreams, to soar the skies and shoot stuff down that challenges this desire. Quite poetic, that. Originally formed in 2015 by founding members from the Indian subcontinent, they have now grown the fraternity to have representation from across the globe. Their SOPs, structure and tactics, however, continue to emulate the venerable Indian Air Force. They've competed in various DCS tournaments and have been regulars in inter-squadron competitions since 2018, which started with TACT 2018. Since then, they've ended up as semi-finalists in the TACT 2019 and 2020 Gold League edition. They were also ranked second in TACT Cold War 2020. Earlier known as ITGC Air Corps, the squadron was rechristened as the No. 15 Squadron, the Battleaxes, after their founding year, 2015. While No. 15 continues to be a competitive squadron, they also have a sister squadron founded in 2020, called the No. 20 Daggers. They say that they understand the competitive PvP is not for everyone, and the No. 20 Squadron caters to those who want to focus more on PvE and mission-based stuff. So No. 20 is also where they train newcomers and acts as a stepping stone to the No. 15 Squadron. So that's a little bit of background. Hopefully we'll get to talk about the pilots individually as the match progresses, but the first pilots and airships, I can't find my words, honestly, have entered the bubble. So, Mr. Octuple, you've had a look over those loadouts. Anything interesting to report there, sir?
Well, yeah. Majority of everyone's taking, as you would assume, max AMRAMs and where able, taking their AIM-9s, but I think you saw the same thing I did. BGBF has gone very light, and he took 4 AMRAMs and 2 Sidewinders.
How do you think that's going to play out? That's a very unusual loadout.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming they're going to try and use them as a fast chase down, but in the F-18, I don't know how that's going to work. And the 1 tank as well.
Yeah, I'm just jumping between the planes here, and as you point out, most of them are carrying what we'd consider a pretty normal loadout. But for this Hornet, 4 AMRAMs and 1 tank, that's quite interesting. Climbing high too, I see in the, looking at numbers here, about to pass 30,000 feet. Has the burners lit. So we've got 2 ship here of BLA and BGF-18, a 2 ship of Delta 4-2 and Delta 4, and then Luck and Tugboat and Tomcats bringing up the rear, high at 40 and 42,000 feet. So I think we can probably expect some long Phoenixes coming in soon. Looking over to the No. 15 guys, we've got 2 Vipers, a Viper and a Tomcat on the right, 30,000, 37,000. Again, some energy behind these aircraft, so they're going to be dangerous here coming in. And it looks like they'll be the leading edge to encounter MCPV. 2 Vipers on the west side, about 33, 35,000. Again, quite fast. I see 790 knots across the ground here on Skinner. Any comments, Octuple, on this initial setup?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's nice to see a wide spread from the No. 15 guys. Whereas the MCPV, if I can remember that right, they're a bit linear at the minute. Don't really see a formation coming out of it.
Yeah, I was going to make the same comment. I see that the Delta element are tracking with a cut to the west now, while BLA and BGBF-18 are tracking now more kind of southeasterly. So it looks like they're trying to take some sort of shape. But these ranges are starting to collapse down, with there only about 40 miles between Delta 4 and Skinner.
Yep.
Similarly, 42 miles to Gunny. I have a Phoenix launch from Viper at the back in the Tomcat. As we saw, Viper was up high and fast, so this is going to get a good loft on this Phoenix. I'm going to guess that's going for the Hornets at the back by the track.
Reinforcements have
Got a return shot from Luck there as well.
Yeah, I wonder who that's going for.
Yeah, 60 miles to the closest guy, which is Gunny.
I've just drawn a line between Luck and Gunny, and I think it's tracking that way. The Phoenix from Viper peaked about 58,000 feet at 2,000 knots. So that's got a lot of energy coming down here if it's tracking the Hornets. I feel like these guys really got to get in a notch now and preempt this missile.
Yeah,
or
well,
we
looks
may
like
have
they're
an
in
early
the
kill.
notch.
think they're almost in the notch. I'd say they're probably a few degrees yet. But they may be enough. That Phoenix is turning.
Yeah,
It's trying to track.
Active.
These guys are 19 and 22,000 feet. Phoenix is at 29, coming down hard. You see flare out from one of them. So it's passed under and behind one of those ships, and I think that is defeated.
Yep.
So the return shot that came from, I think, Luck, if it was tracking Gunny, it seems like it's going to fall behind at the moment. That's at 36,000 feet and descending now. I don't think that's going to be a factor for anyone.
128 shot out from BGBF, I believe.
It's a 30 mile shot from low, 30,000 feet.
You know, that's one of the 4 that he's got. Remember, he's only got 4 with him.
Yeah, that I think is going to come back to bite later, because that is an extremely low PK shot at 13,000 feet for 30 miles. I mean, Gunny has just turned around, and that missile, I think, is running out of energy, not, what, 10 miles away from him? So it seems like number 15 are happy to just kind of sit back defensively here at the moment, as I note there are 2 more Phoenixes coming out, I think from Luck. Luck is up high, 39,000 feet, 600 knots, so these could have some energy here. That's about 40 miles to Viper in the back in the Tomcat, and we'll say about 30 miles to Gunny. However, both pilots are immediately in the notch. I suspect they may have seen those launches. Just having a quick look at the livery here on this Tomcat. This is an MCPV livery, and it is quite nice.
Another 2 Phoenix out from Tugboat.
Roger, that's about 40 miles to Neoshot, who I think they're tracking for. Interesting to note, actually, that these 2 that came out from Luck are Charlie Phoenixes, so no smoke.
Alright.
I don't think we've seen that before yet, but they're running out of energy.
Alpha and Charlie coming out. Is that another one from Luck?
I think the Alphas were from Tugboat, and I think the Charlie in the rear is from Luck.
Yeah.
These first 2 certainly aren't tracking.
Number 15 guys have only fired 1 AMRAM between them all.
Wow.
Whereas the MCPV guys have fired about 6 now.
That's,
7.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there've been quite a lot of missiles out thus far. I think that economy will be difficult for them later. There's a Phoenix very high passing over Vertical Charlie, but that is not going to hit us at 50,000 feet. Vertical Charlie's down at 5, so nothing really to track in on there. From a camera point of view, I think Gunny may be making a push here, 20 miles out on Luck, and again about 18 miles out on BGBF. And just a question in chat from Gamma, why take Mark 47s instead of Mark 60s? Is there any restrictions? There's no restrictions on Phoenixes. I think it's just M9Xs and nukes that are banned in TACT.
20 mile shot from Delta 4 onto Cougar. The Cougar looks like he's cold already.
Yeah, I'm noting that Delta 4 is descending, so that was probably about 20,000 or so when it was fired. So again, not great parameters for a 20 mile shot. Phoenix from Viper tracking in, that probably is heading for BGBF. 6,000 feet, BGBF is down at 3,000. Of course, there are hills in this area. This is east of Raz, south of Kasab. So this probably will go into some terrain here. I'm going to follow along with this for a moment. Doesn't look like it's tracking anything at the moment. It's probably been defeated by terrain. And sure enough, I think it's going to pass on the west of BGF and in front of Tugboat.
Yeah, and as that's happening, there's another shot from Luck. It's not a dangerous shot. It's a 30 mile AMRAM, but that brings him down to 1 Phoenix left.
Yeah,
So he's gone through 5 Phoenixes already.
liberal use of Phoenixes here, and there's an AMRAM in reply from Vertical Charlie, 15 miles. Vertical Charlie is low at the moment, and an AMRAM on the right from Neoshot. It looks to be heading over towards BGBF. That's currently 25,000 feet, so Neoshot has descended hard after firing that. I think luck will be okay from the Amram on the left. There's a Fox from Delta 4 that is possibly a blue on blue on Hell Pilot.
That is like a blue on blue. That might be the most action we're going to get.
Oh, this is disappointing. Hell Pilot is defending. That Amram is hopefully going to lose him in the notch. Amram on the right for BGBF is falling away. It's 35,000, so it's off into space. So there in front of the Amram is the friendly who that Amram was fired on. So possibly breakdown of communication or a breakdown of SA there between the Delta flight.
We've got a 13-mile shot on Viper from BGBF.
Yeah, they're about co-out. I'm looking at 7,000 feet.
Yeah, I'm not thinking terrain's going to either eat it or it's going to be easily. Yeah, he's turned cold.
Yeah. I think what we're seeing here is a trend of a lot of low PK shots coming out from MCPV, and not a lot by the way of reply from number 15. So I think, speculation at this point, but the economy is going to be very much in number 15's favour.
I'm just quickly counting the numbers here, but yeah, number 15 have only fired 4 shots that I'm counting. So they've got a good 30 plus still in their arsenal.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Vertical Charlie in a Battleaxe livery here, with all Amrams bar 1 on board. And if we have a quick look around here, we got 2 Amrams, 2 Sidewinders left on BGBF. Blah has all the Amrams on board in the Hornet. Tugboat still has 4 Phoenixes left. Luck in the MCPV livery with a single Phoenix, as you say. And an Amram out on the left, 13 miles on Neoshot, is up at 14,000 feet. It's almost co-out. That leaves 3 Amrams left with Delta 4. Neoshot sees it coming and turns away while it's still about 6 miles behind and descends hard. Neoshot's picking up a lot of speed here as well, but that's about 670 across the ground now. So shouldn't have any issue in outrunning this. I think that Amram's starting to lose rate. Yeah, we're losing energy fast now. And just to complete our inventory, we've got 6 Amrams still on board with Delta 4-2 Hell Pilot.
Right, exchange of missiles on the east there between BGBF and Viper.
That's a dangerous Amram coming at Viper. He stayed hot to get that Phoenix away. I'm not sure it's going to do it much for him, but he might just get lucky with the speed. This is going to go into terrain. And some squirrels are dead. So that Phoenix may be going after BGBF. I mean, Phoenixes from any range are dangerous, but that was pretty close for a Phoenix shot. I'm going to sit in with that Phoenix for a moment, because we can see the Hornets getting close. Passing right to left, flaring. That won't help you against the Phoenix.
You get the notch of the left second now, he's turning away from it. It might...
Turn harder! Turn harder!
Oh, there we go.
So there is the first kill. BGBF has been killed by that short-range Phoenix. And we have a Phoenix and Amram in reply. 2 Amrams coming out from MCPV, so more missiles being expended. And this is a 6v5 currently. But I'm really starting to fear for the number of missiles that MCPV have left.
Yeah. Neoshot's getting a nice little flank on the west there.
Yeah,
Blah.
that's 10 miles from Blah. Blah is at 7,000 feet. Neoshot is thinking twice now and turning south. And was only about 9 miles as well from the 2 Tomcats, who are relatively low. 4,000 feet and 10,000 feet.
Yep. Luck has lost all his... he's obviously fired another Amram that I missed.
Yeah, fired one down to the south, but it didn't track anything.
Yeah, so he's completely out of Phoenixes now, he's just A9s.
Well, we've seen before in this competition that a Tomcat down to A9s can be a deciding factor by the end if it gets down that far. So I think what Luck needs to do now is stay alive and try and survive until then if it does go that far.
He needs to stick with Tugboat really and support him.
Yeah, because of course number 15 don't know that these aircraft are low on missiles, and they don't know, even then which Tomcat is which. Amram on the left tracking Skinner, who is heading for a notch tracking east. Phoenix out from Tugboat to Vertical Charlie, so we're replying with an AMRAM. Well, it's a dangerous Phoenix. It's taking a while to get going.
It might be on Viper. It's...
Oh, you're right. That AMRAM is dangerous on Tugboat too.
Yeah, Viper's low, not chaffing, but it's got the wrong angle.
Tugboat's breaking away, has defeated that. Viper is down.
Viper's down, yeah.
We just caught that in F10 as we came. AMRAM on the right, Gunny to Luck. Hits the squirrels right in front of Luck. Luck is lucky. But pressing, I think that's 4 miles. He's going to try and burn down on Gunny. And you know, there's a chance. I mean, that Viper is 680 knots and picking up speed. Tomcat's slowing down now, so really needs to think twice about keeping extended like that. That's good 10-11 miles away from the nearest friendly, and that friendly's running cold. Luck is going to be massively isolated here.
And but look, without any Phoenixes as well, so he's just relying on the AMRAMs, so they can push it here.
Sidewinders even.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's even worse.
Yeah. I got a close shot from Delta 4 on the west here, at 7 miles on Skinner.
It's right down in the deck. I think that's gone into the sand already.
The ground.
And it looks like Cougar's lining up for a shot on Hellpilot. Cougar and a Viper rolling, has foxed.
Name 9 out from Luck. Not sure who that was on, I think that was on Vertical Charlie at 10 miles.
Oh, Gunny is going to get an AMRAM off here. We've got missiles being exchanged all over the place.
Luck's probably going to go down now on the west. Yeah, Luck's gone.
And Hellpilot has defended Cougar's missile. We just caught that in F10, by the way, Luck taking that AMRAM. That was ill-advised extension, unfortunately. And got isolated down there. It could have been a nice Fox 2 on Gunny, but as you correctly pointed out, fired it on Vertical Charlie. So Tugboat now isolated on the east, so am I right in saying this is now a 5-on-3?
Yeah, that's what I'm counting.
So Tugboat on his own going up against 2 Vipers. Sorry, a Viper and a Hornet. Hellpilot foxing on Neoshot. Not sure Neoshot knows a lot about this yet. He's flying straight into it. Trying to defend. That's going to be a kill. And smack. Hellpilot pulling out a really important kill for MCPV there. That makes it 4 number 15 left to 3 MCPV. And if Cougar's not careful, Cougar's going to find himself overextended while Delta 4 presses in here. Has 1 AMRAM left on board, still carrying bags. I feel like those bags are long overdue for going. Cougar with an AMRAM. It looks to be tracking Delta 4. Delta 4 fires, needs to defend hard. I think Delta 4's in trouble. Lots of flares coming out. Braking to the left, that probably is trashed. Let's have a quick look back.
Close Phoenix from Tugboat here, 7 miles in return on Gunny. AMRAM in return.
Oh, Tugboat is high, is descending. As long as he doesn't put himself in the deck here.
Yeah, it's getting close.
That's trashed. Phoenix, I imagine, has gone into the sand as well. Hellpilot pushing hard on the west. On Skinner, who was foxed on Delta 4, 8-mile shot. 4,000 feet to 3,000, that's pretty low. Thick air. So I don't have high hopes for that AMRAM. But Hellpilot is going to get isolated here if he stays fixated on Skinner. Cougar's coming in. And Hellpilot has 3 AMRAMs remaining. Delta 4, I think, is Skosh. Cougar coming in with 3 AMRAMs. It's about to fire a fail. Fox. That's a 4-mile shot. Tugboat's been burned down on the east, but we're going to stick with the fight on the west for a moment.
Not really defending it yet.
Hellpilot's in trouble, I think. He's on the right side of the screen here. Tracking right to left, that's defeated. Just about. Cougar sorting in behind. And Delta 4 needs to get in the fight here to help out.
And that's a close shot on Skinner.
Don't think he'll survive this one. Splash. And I think Hellpilot got a kill on Skinner as well there. So we're down to 2 MCPV aircraft left. Delta 4, who's Scosh, Tugboat, who has 2 Phoenixes and 2 Sidewinders. And then 3 aircraft left on number 15 side. Cougar with 1 AMRAAM. Gunny with 2 AMRAAMs. Vertical Charlie with a lot of AMRAAMs. And foxing on Tugboat. 6 mil.
Tugboat's going high here. He's doing the... I'm not sure he's just going vertical up at the minute. I'm not sure what his plan is.
I'm not convinced that Tugboat knows either at the moment. Unfortunately for Tugboat, that maneuver did get him killed. So I think this is the round pretty much sorted now for number 15, providing that they'll have the fuel to land. AMRAAM from Gunny on Delta 4 is going to fly straight into it. Oh, just about misses.
They both turn cold now. I think they both have an AMRAAM left. Gunny.
Yeah, Cougar has one. Gunny has one.
Obviously not aware Delta's got nothing left, so guns.
I'm quite liking these dark Viper liveries for the Battleaxes. So it looks like a German emblem on the port wing. Oh, there's a Fox, I think, from Gunny on Delta 4, 7 miles. But again, they're both relatively low, so we'll see what happens here. Vertical Charlie is putting an AMRAAM out that may track Cougar. Oh, Delta 4's turned back in. That's going to hit. Oh, that's unfortunate. It felt like Delta 4 had beaten that, and then managed to turn back in and get killed by it. This AMRAAM is tracking Cougar for Vertical Charlie. Or at least looks to be trying to. Center of screen there is Cougar passing left to right low. So almost a blue on blue here from number 15. But that is all of the MCPV aircraft now destroyed. I wonder if Vertical Charlie is going to fox again here. I hope now that they realise what's going on. It would be tragic to see a team kill at this point of the round.
I think he's realised.
Yeah, the lack of fox at this stage, I think there was probably a lot of shouting going on, I imagine, in the comms between the elements there. So Vertical Charlie coming away still with 2 AMRAAMs and a Sidewinder. Cougar with a single AMRAAM remaining. Gunny with nothing. Skosh down to guns. So as we said at the outset, this is not the round 1 yet. That is the victory conditions met, but they still have a 70 nautical mile flight to recover to Keshem. Cougar in the front doing the clever thing and getting rid of the extra weight here with that AMRAAM Mad Dog. And looks to be ascending, passing 17,000 feet. Vertical Charlie is also climbing. And as is Gunny. So it all comes down to how much fuel they have left. So I'm looking at what I'm imagining. I'm actually not sure what country these Randalls represent. Red circle with the green ring outside it. Imagine these markings are for individual pilots. So as the intro said, the number 15 are primarily an Indian squadron. However, they have, I think, members from other countries. So while we wait for these guys to get a little closer to Keshem, let's have a quick look at some bios. So Vertical Charlie is indeed from India, as we come here and we see the Indian Randalls. He's fondly known as VC, or Charlie, in the DCS community. He commands the number 15 squadron and is in charge of the administration and basic upkeep of the squadron. Charlie also runs a YouTube channel called Battleaxes TV, where he posts DCS-related videos, so why not get the plug-in? Fair play. Preferred aircraft are the Flanker, which obviously isn't in use in TACT, as TACT is full fidelity modules only, the FA-18C Hornet, and certainly not the Dora. I really very much love that that last bit was included. Just in case there was any doubt, not the Dora. Cougar, we're looking at here in the Viper, is from Bangladesh, and true to his call sign, Cougar is a real master of the mountains. We have a running joke that people in the cities and villages in DCS personally know him due to his low, sneaky pop-up attack prowess. Cougar runs a very successful Facebook gaming channel called Cougar's Cave, with over 40,000 subscribers. Again, shameless plug, why not? Preferred aircraft, the Flanker and the F-16. And then taking up the rear here in the Viper is Gunny. Gunny is from Germany, so hence the German insignia here on the port wing, as we can see. Gunny is a strict flight commander. He is good with guns, hence the call sign. Maybe not so good at humour, being German and all. that is humour I can also get behind. Excellent. Preferred aircraft, the F-16. So those are the three who have survived. We are 44 nautical miles away from Kesham. And if I can remember the other ones who were in the fight here, I think Skinner was one we were following. And Skinner is also from India, is the chief creator of their liveries. Let me follow an aircraft while I talk about the liveries. Hence the call sign. So he's also in charge of all matters related to branding and creatives for the squadron. He loves creating patches for the squadron from time to time, does the same pro bono for the Indian Air Force as well, which is a pretty cool thing to do. Preferred aircraft, the Flanker, the Fishbed, and then the Viper. Very interesting. Seeing a lot, actually, reading through these here, a lot of the preferred aircraft are the Flanker. I think I'm correct in saying the Indians are a user of the Su-30. So probably not that surprising. Let's follow the Hornet here for a moment. We did have a Tomcat Octuple on the number 15 side, didn't we?
Yes, Viper and Drona as the Rio.
Excellent, thank you. So Viper, as the pilot, is also based in India. Senior flight instructor and commercial pilot, flying the Airbus 320. Call sign is a spin-off as his real first name. Viper has a knack for teaching others. At least half the squadron has been taught aircraft and weapon ops and handling by him. Preferred aircraft are the Fishbed, the Mirage being a Tomcat pilot, flying the Hornet and the Hip. Very impressed to see the Hip get a shout out there, as we often have been talked about lately on regular DCS streams of shenanigans with helos. The Hip is a lot of fun. So then Viper's Rio, Drona, also from India, chief flight instructor, named after... I'm going to butcher this, I'm going to have a read of it before I attempt it. Guru Dronacharya, who is a legendary and illustrious weapons instructor from ancient Indian mythology. Drona also commands the number 20 Daggers, the PvE squadron, that we talked about earlier in the bio. Preferred aircraft are Flanker, Fishbed, Hornet, and being a Rio in the Tomcat. I think it's nice that the Rios in these matches get a shout out. All too often, with only the pilot name coming up in the F10 view, that they don't get sufficient credit for doing the important work in the backseat. I'm sure you'll agree, Octuple.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, just on that note, before we... I'm pretty sure there's somebody I've missed from that list, but before we finish that topic... speaking of Jester and Rios, or Rios and Jester rather, the MCPV guys had two Tomcats with Jester in the back. Do you think there was a influence in that, as I see there's an MCPV Hornet on the deck? We're not ready for the next round yet, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the IFF is definitely going to help out, isn't it?
Incoming transmission.
Jester can be very slow at that, especially if they. I've got a feeling the MCPV guys weren't as good on comms, so obviously IFing is going to be a bit of a major part of that.
Yeah, as we both know, Jester is terrible at the best of times at everything, but especially at IFF. So I'm just watching Cougar here at 20,000 feet making a slow descent into Keshem. That is about 12 miles out, so I think we can be confident that fuel is no longer going to be an issue here. He's got the glide range to recover. And just while we're waiting for the aircraft to descend in more, just a couple of things going on with stream. So thank you to Saffron Agrawal for the follow, D-Monster for the follow, Smooth Dangles coming in with some bits, and Gamma for a gifted sub to our good friend Misi. Hello Misi. We've been plugging your match tomorrow, sir. So from those number 15 pilots, was it Neoshot, the missing pilot, that we haven't covered yet, Octuple?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I've been following you.
That's cool. I'm pretty sure I haven't covered Neoshot yet, just for the sake of completeness. Neoshot is also from India, is a flight cadet, creator of liveries, 3D artist, and has been making DCS aircraft mods for over a year now, which is pretty cool. Working on some really interesting aircraft projects with a Winky Fist, so obviously not going to spoil anything there as Cougar drops the gear. Preferred aircraft for Neoshot is the Viper and then the Hornet. So I think that has covered everybody who is flying. Perhaps we haven't talked about Viper. Let me have a quick look there. We have talked about Viper. Viper likes the hip. Alright, so I'm going to position the camera on the airfield here just to watch this landing. So once we get wheels on deck and a successful rollout without blowing up in a ball of fire, that will put the round over to number 15. Almost touchdown short of the runway there, no pressure. I swear you don't have an audience watching you or anything. And there is Cougar on deck. And I think we're safe in saying that that is the round. Yeah, there's not going to be no horrible explosion here, so first round goes to the number 15 Battleaxes. So, if you were to try and make a summary of that Octuplefire and what we've seen in the last couple of minutes, what would be the big takeaways for you?
Probably, I was going to say, bad mouth at MCPV. I know this is not their forte. It's the first round, but there was a little, what looked like a lack of communication. There was no real formation or teamwork. They were very spread out. You had one two ship that was west over the water, while the other, I think the F-14s were kind of, and I think the other two ship was on the east side in the mountains. So there was no mutual support there at all. Whether that was on purpose to try and spread them out, but I say the number 15 guys never really took the bait. They were always within an arm's reach of each other to help each other out.
Yeah, I think that's probably quite succinct. That, to be honest, that there was a big difference in kind of where the aircraft were operating on the MCPV side. Do you think the economy of use of missiles played into it towards the end? Do you think it was lost for them before that?
Oh, we've seen this before. It doesn't actually make a lot of difference until it's the last couple of guys. But yeah, the MCPV guys definitely used a lot more at the start, and I would have been a little bit, especially with BGBF only having 4. I would definitely be a bit more reserved about using them, at least getting them ranges a bit further down, to like 30-20 miles. Probably a maximum for shooting. With the exception of the Phoenix, they might have got a lucky shot with the Phoenixes, but I think these guys are experienced and know how to defeat them. So it's hard to say. It's say previous rounds they got down to the last couple of guys, and the missile numbers don't really matter for much unless it's the last few guys. As long as you got someone there supporting you, you can catch someone out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there were probably a few elements there, and there was almost an overzealous use of AMRAAMs from MCPV initially, but yeah, I suppose I'm kind of just thinking through what you've just said, and it's, you know, it's difficult at the moment to kind of come up with any simple answer to it. I think the big thing we should also take away from this is that I think number 15 showed their experience in this this first round. As you pointed out, that they were looking for the notch early. They were looking to defeat those missiles before they really ever get in.
Yeah, they said that they kept themselves well out of danger. Any missiles were nowhere near connecting, as far as apart from the few guys that actually did push in and get shot down. I think they were placed themselves really comfortably.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and that's just going to say the thing we should keep in mind here is that this is MCPV's first foray into PvP competition, being primarily a PvE squadron. So it's always going to be an uphill challenge for them coming into, you know, effectively somewhat cold into this environment where number 15 I think have a lot more experience from the bio that they provided to us. So the server has gone down there. It's going to be restarted before round 2 gets underway, so we're just having a quick look at the TACT schedule here in the meantime. So this is a good opportunity to plug the upcoming matches. So this is today's only TACT match, unfortunately. The one that was going to happen in parallel to this was rescheduled. I think it's to next weekend. But we have 2 matches tomorrow. So 104th Maverick will be streaming at 1900 Zulu, TFT... Nope. HH versus SF. I'm looking at the wrong line of a spreadsheet. And also at 1900 Zulu, our good friend Misi, hello Misi, will be streaming Bravo versus D3W. That is the second match from the group... what group number is it? Don't have this stuff off the top of my head. Group G. So the first match of Group G was last night, where Bravo and VTAF defeated the Toro Squadron. So now Bravo and VTAF are going to play D3W, which is Deliberator Squadron, tomorrow evening. That I think is going to be quite an interesting one, actually. The match yesterday was, again, surprisingly close, and surprisingly... the surprising result in that the effective newcomers upset the more experienced squadron. So you never really know in this. As we say, well, MCPV don't have a lot of PvP experience prior to this, doesn't mean they can't pull out an upset. Alright, just waiting for the server to come back up, folks. While we do that, let's have another look at the TACT trailer.
Good light. Juggles targeted. Coming left for the shot.
Understand your hit?
Last one.
Right. Take right. There's another one.
Alright folks, we are back. Server has been restarted, we're just waiting for the squadrons to slot in. And then we'll jump back into the game proper and have a look at what we might expect ahead of round 2. So Mr. Octuplefire, I understand that you had kept track of some kills in that last round. Will you be able to run us through what happened?
Yeah, I can run you through quickly. Off the top of my head. So, our first kill was by Viper. That's Viper and Drona, with Drona as the Rio. They got the first kill on BGBF, and that would have been with a Phoenix, I believe. Unfortunately, though, I think Tugboat swooped in and they killed Viper and Drona in his F-14. So yeah, then had Gunny in his F-16 shoot down Luck in his F-14. Neo then came and killed Blah. That's a Neo shot.
Roger.
Hell Pilot then, I think this is one of the quick engagements again where Neo pushed in and killed Blah, and then Hell Pilot came in and killed Neo. He also managed to get Skinner as well. So that's 2 kills from him.
Nice.
But then again he got shot down by Cougar. They're on a vertical Charlie in his F-18, managed to get Tugboat finally in his F-14, and the last kill was on Delta, so the lone survivor on the MCPV. That was Gunny getting that last shot on him.
Yeah, unfortunate that last one, because I think as we saw during the round that it looked like it was defeated, but then he somehow turned back into it, which was just unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we see that a lot. I commented on it last night with Deliberator that sometimes when we're seeing people defending AMRAAMs, they go into a snaking maneuver, and they'll pull hard, for example, left, and then pull hard right, and kind of back and forth, and they often just pull back into the missile when the initial breakaway had defeated it. It's an interesting trait to kind of observe when we see it happen.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they're working these out, and when they're trying to figure out whether they're just eyeballing it and trying to pull in, thinking they're far enough away.
Yeah, indeed. Alright, so let's get rid of the overlay here, and we are now in round 2. So we are currently of a score of 1 round to number 15 to 0 to the Motor City Pit Vipers. So 1 round completed. This is round 2 of potentially 3. So best of 3. So I see that there is a change for the Motor City Pit Vipers. I got informed of that during the break while things were starting. So BGBF has been swapped out and Finch 9X has been swapped in for the MCPV guys. And let's have a quick look over MCPV while we are here looking. So I think we have talked a little bit about the squadron background, but not about the pilots. So Delta 4 here at the what I think is the northern end of Lane, flying a Viper. Delta 4 is a mercenary for hire, whose services were purchased with Dogecoin and vodka, which I think is just a brilliant description. And the note I had alongside Delta 4 was he'll be bringing a wingman, who I assume was BGBF. We've had someone just disconnect there beside in a Viper and come back in, so let's jump to that jet. This is Delta 4-2 Hell Pilot. I don't think I have anything here for Hell Pilot, so that may be another mercenary wingman. So sadly, nothing there. Let's hope that there was also equal quantities of Dogecoin and vodka. And then we've got Finch and INX swapping in a very cool looking blue livery here. I'm not sure if this is a standard livery or if this is one for their squadron. I'm trying to read the emblem on the wing, United States Navy, so I think this is a stock one. Potentially. I'm sure chat will catch me up on this, so please do chat, let me know if that is stock or if this is just a custom one with a Navy badge on the back. So we have... Interesting, I don't actually have anything down here for Finch either. So these bios were provided by the squadron, and I think at the time Finch didn't think that he would make it. He'd been in touch with me during the week. Real-world scheduling conflicts meant it was unlikely, but thankfully he's here and rocking a Hornet with what looks like all the AMRAAMs in the world. And BGF is back in, so I'm a little confused now about who's swapping out for Finch. I'm going to jump over there because I don't have any bio for BGF. We've got Luck in a beautiful blue Tomcat, carrying what looks like 6 Phoenixes again, 2 heaters, and what is a stereotypical red-haired Irish lass with a mug of beer on the nose, so I can get behind that. For a man whose avatar is a leprechaun with a chainsaw, I make no rights at getting annoyed at stereotypes. I've been pausing to give you opportunity, Octuple, to get a dig in there, but fair play, sir.
I'm writing my notes.
Fair enough, fair enough. Alright, so Luck is the owner of Fox 3 Managed Solutions, who hosts the servers that the MCPV do their PvE and missions on, and is also a Tomcat specialist, according to the notes I have here. And then at the back, we have got Tugboat. So Tugboat slings Phoenix missiles with deadly accuracy from his venerable Tomcat. I'm just thinking to myself about how we will see these Tomcats used in this next round. You know, from memory, the start of round 1, they were high, they were fast. I don't think we saw any dangerously long foxes coming in. You know, I think number 15 did a good job again anticipating it and waiting for it.
I think just looking at my notes again from the previous match, I think Tugboat's the only guy from the MCPV guys who actually get a kill the F-14.
Roger. So I'm being told in chat from OzDeadMeat and 104th Beef, thank you both, that it is a stock F-18 livery, the NSAWC. Oh, we've got some sort of reddish one loading in there on BGBF. I think again this is probably going to be a stock livery. Both squadrons did provide me with liveries, so you can see obviously the MCPV Tomcat here. And there were some other ones provided for Hornets and Vipers, however I'm not seeing them actually being used here. Pretty sure they were installed correctly. Similarly, the number 15 folks provided, and we have seen on most of them, with the lovely axe on the fin flash there. So while we're waiting for this to get started, Mr. Octuple, do you see any differences in loadout, or anything of note here that we should be talking about?
Nothing too bad. I'm still waiting for one of the guys. I think it's one of the number 15 guys who haven't loaded up just yet. There isn't a brown F-18. I'm not sure if you can find that, or whether it's BGBF again. He's slightly different. It's took 6 AMRAAMs now. Still option to not use 2 of them pylons.
Yeah, I don't understand that loadout from the first round, because it must have been a misclick in the pit, but I'm almost certain that he had a double rack but with a single AMRAAM.
Yeah. I think it probably was on purpose, but
Rather than
sure.
taking a single AMRAM on a single...
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that, to be honest. Strange one.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't take the fuel, though. I mean...
No. At least, yeah, fuel would keep you a bit in reserve.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice. And it's not one that we've seen before, and I would suspect most squadrons would not opt to fly that, so... in classic dodgeball fashion, it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it pans out.
Yeah. Okay, it might just be how he's comfortable flying. Maybe he's just used to having that weight and maneuverability with that loadout.
Indeed. And I think we had Blah flying in the last round. Do you have him in your notes?
Yes, I think that's who Finch swapped out with. Blaz, can't see him.
Roger. So, from my notes, Blaz, the lead of the Motor City Pit Vipers, a former Harrier pilot, AV-8B, which is pretty cool, and will be flying the Hornet because the organisers thought it would be an unfair advantage to place him in his deadly Harrier, which I think is a fantastic note.
Incoming transmission.
I have to say, one of the things I've most enjoyed with these streams during TACT is getting these little bios from the squadrons. I made a point at the outset of making contact with the squadrons to get some info from them, because there's always going to be squadrons who we haven't encountered before, and it's nice to give them both a little bit of airtime, a little bit of coverage, and then to talk a little bit about the pilots. So it's nice when you get a little bit of an insight into the the culture of the squadron, or the humour of the squadron, or the in-jokes with these little notes. And while we wait for MCPV, who have just started to taxi out, a couple of follows in the last few minutes. Burner AF, thank you for that follow. Chris Dodge 3, thank you for following along. And Titterboots, great name, thank you for following. And Beef is coming into the chat here talking about the Naval Strike and Air Warfare Center, a primary authority for training and tactics in the US Navy aviation community, pronounced NSOC. Because why would it be pronounced any other way? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I suppose SOC, yeah. Dead Meat, he has removed the pylon to make his jet more slippery through the air.
Faster strikes.
And Gamma says you can take some lotion to make things slippery. Gamma keeping it classy as always, folks. Oh dear. Mechanic Orion, it took me a second to actually parse your name there to split it into two, but thank you for the follow, welcome along. And I think, because I was just talking about this earlier, I'm having a quick look here, I think Mechanic Orion, you have the honour, for whatever it's worth, of being follower number 800 to the channel. So thank you very much for that, and thanks to everybody who's come along, and in particular in the last few weeks of TACT, coming along to watch and follow, and checking in during all the shenanigan streams we've been doing lately. A lot of fun in helicopters and general fucking around. So do stop by again and check out all the other TACT streamers who have been working. Tricker, Lowblow, Deliverator, Haramisi, and yet to stream TACT Match will be 104th Maverick, but no stranger to anybody in the community, really.
So I'm just looking at number 15, guys. It might just be because they're waiting for the ready, but Skinner and Cougar are running clean of bags. Oh no, they're loading bags now, so yeah, I am wrong. I think they're just rearming at the last second.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in a couple of matches previously, where there's a bug, I believe, with the Viper, at least this is how it's been told to me, where if you're sitting on the deck like this and you refuel, it won't fill anything taken out of the bags. So the only way to get full bags again is to actually take them off and put them on. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of Viper pilots opting to just taxi out clean and then rearm on the runway.
Yeah, that was just me getting overly excited to see some potential fast Vipers.
He's going to go clean and he's going to gun the lot of them.
Yeah.
So I'm having a quick look over number 15 here. I'm seeing no TGPs in use. And all the Vipers are standard 6 AMRAMs, 3 bags. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right here.
Interestingly, in last night's match between the Bravo and VTAF folks versus versus Toro. Okay, so MCPV are calling ready. We'll just wait for the other one here. We saw one of the Hornets take a TGP on a cheek pod, which I hadn't seen done before in the competition. Oh, bit of warp there at the back in a Viper.
Hovering F-16.
That's Hell Pilot. What sort of ping does Hell Pilot have?
90, I hope it's just a hiccup.
190. That's... To be fair, given that there were quite a lot of people here connecting from India to Finland, those are not bad pings at all. Alright, number 15 are calling ready. And the first elements of MCPV are rolling. That's all 6 aircraft from MCPV safely airborne. No delay, notably, between the elements there for MCPV. Similarly with number 15, it looks like there's a minimum delay between the first 4, although the latter 2 are just now rolling. So again, no real wait. It's always curious, I think, Octuple, to see the different approaches taken by squadrons. We've had some have left aircraft on deck for several minutes before they got airborne, but not here.
Yeah, it's just definitely a tactic, or just to give that spacing and make the formations easier to set up. I think once you're airborne, you can more or less do that, because I think everyone's quite keen to get into the area. Just trying to see what's going on with the MCPV guys here.
Yeah, as Loblo would say, I'm riding along with BGBF. Who is attempting to pull into formation with Finch.
I'm just watching this, I'm just noticing, like, from the MCPV, like Tugboat and Luck are kind of flying together, but if you go look at their external, Luck is behind and high, so you've obviously got no visual Tugboat yet. So I'm wondering if they are actually working as a pair, or they just said we'll go roughly this direction and play it by ear.
This is what, Luck and Tugboat you're talking about?
Yes, yeah. So you notice Tugboat's doing some left and right, so maybe they are just trying to form back up and blind on each other.
Yeah, and Luck is rather slow at the moment, 163 knots indicated and falling. But 210 across the ground at 18,000 feet. That is not a nice position for a Tomcat to be in. He's at 100% RPM, but that's 15 degrees alpha. He needs to start. There we go, there's the burners. He needs to start concentrating on flying the aircraft here for a moment.
Just dip the nose.
Yeah. I think Luck Tugboat has pulled ahead.
Yeah, Tugboat is doing lefts and rights. I'm not sure if he is trying to just give the guys in front some space.
I find this actually kind of interesting, to be honest, because why would you get airborne and just waste the fuel in the air doing this? Surely if you're he's turning cold now. Surely if you're trying to give the folks up front time and spacing, you just sit on the runway and launch last after maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Maybe a misunderstanding of the rules, thinking they need to get airborne. Or
maybe
they're just enjoying themselves. I think they're having fun.
Well, that is the main thing, to be honest. I think so long as everybody has fun in these matches, that is the main thing. So the red side, which I think is MCPV, have entered the bubble, the so-called bubble. And if there's anything about TACT, the rules are the setup here that we haven't already covered, folks. Please put it in the stream chat. We'll try and talk about it.
So what do you think of the number 15 formation? It looks like they've got two pairs working together. I'm not sure if the third guys are going to be a number 3 for each pair, or if they're just starting to spread out and get into that kind of line formation.
Yeah, I think if I were to guess, I would say Neoshot and Vertical Charlie are just in a large spread here to be the centre of a wall. And I think we've got Cougar and Skinner breaking off to the east, Viper and Gunny off to the west, and they'll just work as two ships. It's interesting we have a Tomcat on the west, of course, with Viper and Drona. They're about 25,000 feet there, and Neoshot 13,000, Vertical Charlie 14,000. So they're in no rush to climb. That's quite a low altitude to be entering the bubble at. Meanwhile, from the MCPV, we've got the 2-ship of Hornets, of course now, there's 2 of them. 32,000 feet, 440 across the ground. Delta 4 trailing them in a Viper, 30,000 feet, about 400 knots. Hell Pilot on his own on the west, 31,000 feet, 580 across the ground. So not terrible energy, but again, the meta of the Viper these days tends to be about 10,000 feet higher and half a Mach faster. So I guess they are just taking it easy at the moment. Certainly I think we saw... I suppose we saw number 15 be quite conservative early on. So, I don't know, do you think we'll see more aggression, Octuple, from MCPV this time? Will they be more conservative, more restrained with their missiles? What are you expecting?
Well, it's hard to say, isn't it? I'd like to see them be a bit more aggressive. If that's how they fight, well, that's what they're used to. I think they need to stick together. I don't like how Hell Pilot's kind of being his own pilot, just going out to the west there.
Yeah,
I'd
I
like
agree
him
with
to have
you.
some sort of support.
I think that could, like, if he doesn't play this very carefully, that could be the first kill for number 15 very early, because he's already 20 plus miles away from the rest of the flight. And we're seeing BGBF take a cut to the kind of southeast here, so kind of cold. The 2 Tomcats are now in trail of each other, about 36,000 feet, so they are climbing, but they're going to be using an awful lot of fuel with all the messing they've been doing. You have to imagine those internal bags will be nearly empty by now.
Yeah, on the other hand, if Hell Pilot can actually tie up 2 of them, we've got some early shots here from Viper from the west.
Well, it's a Phoenix out. 46 miles, Viper is at 28,000 feet and descending. That Phoenix is lofting, of course, passing 44,000 feet now.
Yep.
Hell Pilot, 30,000.
As I was saying, like it's either way of Hell Pilot. If he can keep on the pressure, he can tie up 2 or 3 of them and keep them kind of at bay. 'Cause I think they'll always be scared of that return shot. But if number 15 keep on the pressure, they can just collapse that west side and completely surround them.
Agreed. This Phoenix will be telling. There's a shot out, I think, from Finch towards Skinner. That was about 30 plus miles. Not a huge PK on this. It's only about 30,000 feet, and not stupidly fast when he fired. You can see Delta 4 is actually picking up speed now at 760 knots across the ground. Let's keep an eye on this Phoenix. It's coming down through 37,000 feet. Looks to be tracking. Hell Pilot is at 25,000, so this could be dangerous. I'm now riding along with the Phoenix, as the saying goes.
He's burning into it as well, so he's just started defending now.
I think that Phoenix is trashed. It's no longer tracking.
Second shot from Delta. And that initial Phoenix on Hell Pilot is trashed.
Yep. So Hell Pilot is safe. Viper has turned cold in the Tomcat. The 2 MCPV Tomcats are still floating around at the back. First AMRAAM that was fired up there towards number 15 is heading for the squirrels, I think. Yeah, that's defended. Second one is about 4 miles out. Looks to be tracking, but I think he's sufficiently in the notch. Let's have a look.
A long shot from BGBF. I'm not sure if that was a sensible shot. Over 25 miles on defending aircraft.
Yeah, I can't say that that's a good shot unless it's coming in on Cougar, and I think it might be tracking Cougar. Yeah, the line I've just drawn shows it's heading towards Cougar. Cougar's foxing on Delta. Delta 4, that's 11 miles. Cougar's up at 16,000 feet. Delta's co-out. This could get in there. Delta Force flying straight into it. Starting to defend, descending. Start pulling, start pulling.
Interestingly, Hellpilot's actually pushing up quite a bit further than I thought he would here. Need to either get Viper or Vertical Charlie to push him back.
And Delta 4 looks okay. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Viper will get a Phoenix out momentarily. Gunny has turned cold, and I suspect is dragging into Viper. Vertical Charlie collapsing in as well. Just like you said, Hellpilot is dramatically overextending. 30 miles from the nearest friendly here.
Got a very long shot from, I think it was Luck that fired that. Over 50 miles, Phoenix.
That's about 60 miles to the Hot Bandit, who would be Neoshot. Neoshot is at 21,000 feet, so that's not, again, not a huge PK. You'd want them to be up around 35, 40, 45,000 feet to, you know, have the legs, get up in that thin air.
Yeah, Hellpilot needs to go defensive here again, 'cause he's got another Phoenix from Viper.
It's about 20 mile shot. Viper is descending, just look at this Phoenix now. Descending also 17,000 feet. It doesn't look like it's tracking Hellpilot. It's on the left side of the line I've drawn, so Hellpilot's okay from the Phoenix, I think. Lots of AMRAAMs and a Phoenix passing near Ras Al Ghul now. The AMRAAMs clearly won't be a factor for anyone. Hellpilot's starting to turn back in. This is very dangerous. You need to run for friendlies, mate. It's Phoenix coming past Al Daid in the centre of the map. 2,500 knots. First Phoenix at 1,300. It's got 5 miles to go on Neoshot. It's down at 6,000 feet. Passing through 18, losing speed. That won't reach.
I'm quite interested that Hellpilot's not actually fired anything yet, so he is being a bit conservative.
Skinner has foxed on BGBF on the right. BGBF, that's a 9 mile shot more or less. 28,000 feet tracking east, 3,000 on Skinner. That's an uphill shot. That's lofted to 24,000, was practically out of energy already, I think. So that should be easily defeated. Return shots. I'm not sure who fired them there, but there's an AMRAAM heading for Skinner. And there's an M9M on the right. I don't know who that came off of.
I don't know. Who's that?
Came off BGBF, I think. That surely wasn't a good shot.
No.
Alright, Delta 4 with the shot on Skinner. That's cold, 8 miles. Skinner is low at 4,000. Delta 4 is at 1,000. That won't reach. Cougar foxing with Hellpilot. Hellpilot again, returning shot. That's about 8 miles. Hellpilot at 7,000 feet currently. 5,000 on Cougar. These could be dangerous.
Yep. We've got some long Phoenixes from the back again from Luck and Tugboat. I think it's probably just to help them from getting collapsed in on the west side.
Hellpilot's kind of in trouble here, but it's just broken away, as we watch from the missile's point of view. Cougar looks to have put the other one into the squirrels.
Incoming transmission.
Yeah, these Tomcats at the back are still a long way out, although 23 miles now to the centre of the fight. AMRAAM going to the Tomcats, 21 miles from Gunny. That's a cheap shot. He's turned cold almost immediately, so he's not being supported. 16,000 feet. Won't have, well, no, won't have the legs to get up to 46,000. He's gone straight for the notch. I think he saw the Phoenix launch and just let the AMRAAM go cheap.
That's what I'm thinking. The Tomcats are being very liberal with these Phoenixes.
The liberal use of Phoenixes, indeed. All Alpha Mark 60s. I think they're both down to 2 Phoenixes each now. I mean, they need a return from one of these Phoenixes, and I'm not convinced that they're going to.
It's not on Vertical Charlie, is it?
The eastmost one might be. 15,000 feet, but it's passing over him now, so no, he's fine.
He's now getting pressed by 3 of them if they stay
There's
hot.
an AMRAAM coming in. He's passing left to right on our screen at the moment over, I think that's Raz. Squirrels at it.
Nice. Finch.
BGBF is very close. 2 miles.
The formation's broken down on both sides, really. I'm thinking that maybe even the MCPV guys are got the advantage here.
I think you're right. Finch is going to find himself in a world of pain, though.
On the shot. No, he notched it.
Gunny has foxed on Tugboat. Hellpilot has foxed on Gunny.
Now Finch is getting a bit cornered here. Now he's been trapped in the north. He's got no one really to help him.
Holy shit! How?
Oh wow!
How did
I
Gunny
missed that.
survive that AMRAM? Practically tickled the underbelly of the Viper. Finch is very much in trouble here. I think he needs to use the hills, use the terrain, just get the fuck down into the terrain now, and get lost in it. Skinner is trying to press in, we could end up with a merge here. Remember, the Viper has no M9s on board, but Delta 4 is trying to come to help, and Neoshot is coming along with... I think we've missed a kill there. Gunny has killed Luck.
Yeah, it was the... you were watching the wrong side of that engagement. Shot.
AMRAM and Finch.
In trouble.
Finch is down. I think Delta will be following Finch here. It's very high. These AMRAMs will get. And there's a splash. So, in a matter of seconds, MCPV have gone down to 3 jets against all 6 of number 15. So I hate to say it, but I think the writing may be on the wall at this stage. Hell Pilot's about to take an AMRAM to the face and an AMRAM to the side.
Shooting on the wrong enemy there.
There's a splash. Let's see if the AMRAM from Hell Pilot will bother Vertical Charlie. Phoenix from Viper on Tugboat. We'll get back to that in a moment. I think this AMRAM is trashed. Yeah, Phoenix tracking on Tugboat. This is the second last MCPV aircraft up. And that's his hit. So then there was one. All 6 number 15 aircraft are still alive. BGBF is down in the hills with 3 AMRAMs and a Sidewinder on board. Has just foxed.
Was that his last fox? I think he's gone through all. I know he's got one more, and then aim 9.
2 more AMRAMs and an M9, but doesn't look like his missile is bothersome. He may get hit here. His AMRAM is tracking, it's going over his head, passing in front. He's safe from that. As long as it doesn't reacquire him. So real problems here.
Yeah, he's got 1 AMRAM to defeat 6 of them, and an aim 9. And these guys are still got plenty of AMRAMs by themselves and Phoenixes.
I mean, if you were in this situation, what can you do?
It's not a lot. As you say, the writing's on the wall.
I mean, like, the only thing I can think of at this stage is to try and hide in the hills and run them out of fuel and go for a draw. But I don't think that's going to happen, as Cougar has just put a fox out. And I think that's it. No, Squirrels ate that.
No, I saw it hit the jet, but he's seen what we've seen before, where he carries on without any damage.
Yeah, Viper settling in behind. And there's an AMRAM in, and that's it.
And that was from Cougar, wasn't it?
It was indeed Cougar, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Cougar. Cougar killed BGBF in Hornet. That was a very quick round.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's so much to talk about there, and yet, like, where do we start?
Yeah, sort of similar things.
And Luck just posting in chat, great match, don't worry about landing, we concede. So that basically means that that is the match to number 15. As I rapidly try to update my scoreboard.
Yep, so I'm just going back through the missiles. Like say, the number 15 guys are still half of them. Like Neoshot's only fired 1, so he's still got 5 AMRAMs. Skinner, he's still got 2. Cougar got 1. Gunny's still got 3. The Viper and Drona in the Tomcat still got 3 Phoenixes. And Vertical Charlie, who's still got 9 AMRAMs. The 2 aim 9s.
Wow. That's a lot of boom right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a lot of ordnance, across all those jets. I think, my first thought about what we've just seen, and there's kind of a lot that we'll watch back, hopefully the Tacview after this, and it won't take too long, but my first thought is the comment you made during the round, which was the formations have just kind of broken down. It's almost a free-for-all. And it feels like that's ultimately where it kind of went wrong for MCPV.
Yeah. And I say they're broken down. They just, I'm not sure if number 15s still had it. They still had a good kind of front line. It just twisted around a little bit. But whether they were still in communication, I'm just wondering how much their SA actually knew where their friendlies were, whether they knew they were in their positions, how much they just relied on data link.
Yeah. I was saying this with Deliberator last night in the match we covered, that there are the two most important things in PvP DCS is comms and SA, and both of those ultimately boil down to experience. You don't build them up quickly. It takes a long time, and it's as both of us know from experience, it's you're in knife edge fighting. You've got to get information out quickly, and then know where you're going, know where you're turning, know where you need to flow. It's a lot of information.
Yeah, because I was slightly worried that, or not worried, just thinking that it could happen where one of the number 15 guys turned south, see the contact south, and just fired instinctively if he was within range. But I think they managed to keep the SA to a certain degree. That didn't happen. I think they always knew where the enemy were. Even with, I think it was Finch that went way up north. They had some guys that break off and chase him up there.
Yeah, I'd be very curious to hear actually how the comms were for both sides, to be honest. But I think especially MCPV, towards the end of that round, obviously I think everyone was probably overloaded. But in the lead up to that, how were the comms? Was it deliberate tactic for Finch to go north into those Kasab hills? Was it deliberate for Hellpilot to kind of be floating around west of Bulls by himself? Was there a tactic there? Was it just kind of circumstance, or
That's what I was saying before. It's like I think Hellpilot really needed someone with him, because, as I said, like that formation can just push through him and then almost surround the MCPV guys. I think that's actually what happened, where they literally just pushed him back into the mountains, so they were just stuck on the east side of the AO.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, Singleton's going into a fight against multiple bandits is just very difficult to overcome, because while you can push one, maybe two bandits defensive, ultimately they'll get around you. They'll come at you different angles. A third one might come in, and you need cover. And at some point you have to, either just press for the merge or run away, run for friendlies, and your options are so limited at that point.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure if this was part of a plan, because it might have been a tactic that hopefully he'll tie up one or two, and then that means there's 5 on 4 or even 5 on 2 if they keep their formation.
I'm just having a close-in look at Viper and Drona in the Tomcat, and I'm noticing a very orange flight suit with the Indian flag on the right shoulder, and it's actually quite nice looking. Just lovely detailing. I like when the liveries do that. And showing the underside for measure.
No one you're on camera.
And the smash is on. Looking out the pit now. Smile for the birdie. Rio Grande do Sul is written on the port side behind the Rio. I don't know what that means. If anyone in stream chat could let us know. So I'm really hoping for a nice formation as they come in here. Maybe see a couple of jets land together. Again, Deliberator and I were talking about this last night. We haven't yet seen a formation landing as such in TACT. Frequently, squadrons will, get into a formation and then just do an overhead break where they all kiss off. But actually seeing multiple jets come down together, you know, I don't think anyone's wanted to risk it, if you like, in the competition. But certainly while the match is won here, number 15 can go for all the style points. As we see Al Ain in the distance there, under the Tomcat.
Or they want to risk it, it could all go wrong and it could be a draw.
No, it's conceded at this point. MCPV have said there's no need to land, so the match is won. That is 2-0 to number 15. Jack in the Crack in chat is coming in asking what did it say. Let me just get back to it. Rio Grande do Sol. D-O. River of the Sun is what Blastard is saying. Excellent.
Defensive for me.
I'm glad we were zoomed in on the Tomcat just then. Come on, Battleaxes, style points. Yep, you can see it here, stream, Rio Grande do Sol. Just on Drona's left. Big River of the Sun, now Blastard is saying. As we watch two Vipers sort in with the Tomcat. No pressure, guys. Just as they're pulling into position, the Tomcat noses down.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether the vortices are on them. Maybe is that why they're
hard to say.
Struggling with it.
Having not flown in TACT, I can't actually answer that. But given the tight formation takeoffs we've seen, I'm suspecting they're not on. But perhaps somebody in chat who has flown in the competition can confirm for me.
Because I've been there myself in an F-16 following a larger jet. It's not nice.
No, it's certainly not. When you're trying to get in on that wingtip of the Tomcat, you do get buffeted around quite a bit. And there is Al Ain in front of them. As we said, the match is won at this point. The round has been conceded, but they are going to attempt to recover just for, as we say, style points, and as Vertical Charlie said, for the sake of the stream, because we all like to see jets fly in formation and looking nice. And I think too, when you spend so much of a match in F10, actually seeing the external is quite nice. It's not always possible to watch every missile go into every aircraft or run the risk of missing things. But there's a pair of Vipers breaking off on the right. So let us know in stream chat, folks, if any of you have thoughts on the match equally. I note that Finch came in there into chat. Thank you, number 15 Squadron, and to TitanFire for the excellent match. Well, thank you, Finch, and thank you to all of MCPV for coming along and putting on the match. It was unlucky for you guys, but I think it was a good showing. Certainly, as you said in the bio that you gave to me, that it being your first PvP match against an experienced squadron, it would always be a difficult ask. So fair play to you for coming along and putting on the fight.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they will jump in some more competitions, because it's the only way to learn, really.
Agreed. I think I'm finding myself saying this a lot at the moment, as I watch this Tomcat try to slow down rapidly as it approaches the runway. One of the nice things about TACT, and I try to give a big shout out to the 64th aggressors every time we do this for putting on the competition, but giving an opportunity for squadrons and groups. Oh, Viper passing in front of the Tomcat decides to wave off.
Just giving a bit of revenge for the buffeting, maybe?
Well, the Tomcat stayed steady, so I want to say the Vortices are not on. And Tomcat's on deck.
Nice, yeah.
Now, what will the Vipers do? Will we see a formation landing? Two who peeled off together. Skinner and Gunner are a little bit separated here, but there's an opportunity if they can get in tight. So yes, as I was saying, credit to the 64th for putting this on, but I think there's a good opportunity for squadrons who wouldn't normally enter these sort of competitions to come in a slightly more casual way, which is good. It's only ever good for the community to see more people involved. Oh, our second Viper has broken off. Skinner's going to need to get his gear down in a moment. Here it comes. Very fast landing.
Yeah, so I'm just reading what Finch has put in your chat. It's like Hellpire, it was the decoy in the west initially. Tasked to occupy, stay alive and occupy 2 enemy fighters. So that's a nice, interesting tactic there. I thought that might be a something he was doing.
Yeah, thank you for the confirmation, Finch. That, you know, Octuplefire I think was speculating exactly that, so nice to have that confirmation.
Yeah, it's actually nice to see on these competitions them tactics actually come out. But I think unfortunately, I think he just had too much pressure. I think in the end he had like 3 of the enemy. They just stuck with their formation, and he just actually had to eventually run back to the main group.
Yeah, I think it was probably one of those situations where you can only ever run that decoy for so long and survive, and just hung about too long. I think, you know, it just got caught isolated in the end. But it's a nice effort, it's a nice idea, and it's nice, as you say, to see this sort of thing. I can't remember who was having this conversation with lately, that a lot of the squadrons just end up doing grinders, you know. As I was watching to see if this Viper's wingtip hit the windsock, but it got around it. And to see tactics which aren't just traditional, you know, 2 or 3 element grinders is nice. You know, I think one of the ones that sticks in my memory from recent streams, as we see a Viper about to land on a taxiway, is the 14th VFS and their fighting wall that they put on, which really never, I don't think, developed into the grinder, and really, from memory, countered that so-called tactical blob of the 343rd.
Yep, I was hoping someone would get that word in.
Well, if we're, you know, if it wasn't going to happen naturally, we had to force it, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, but it definitely threw a spanner in the works.
Ooh, rolling Viper.
It definitely. Yeah, I think saying there, yeah, in the mountains this is his own tactical error. Mistakenly thought he had better advantage, so that was the reason Finch pushed up through the mountains.
Again, thank you for that confirmation, Finch. We were wondering, with you up there, whether you were going to be able to survive low in the hills or not. You know, it can be quite easy to fall off of link and to fall off of radars being down low, but again, ultimately you kind of ended up isolated, which I think was just the downfall.
Yeah, they never lost sight of you. I think that was probably some good teamwork for the number 15 guys. And they just sent two guys to go and hunt you down, essentially.
I think they had enough radars in the area looking at different angles of the hills that whichever way you flew, somebody had you. That would be my guess at this point, but...
What I would like to see, if like just going back to the Hell pilot in the west, maybe one of the F-14s just as backup. They did stay back for quite a long while, just to help them out every now and again if you could get a bit too much pressure. Or even use them as bait. And get a long Phoenix off and
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I think the positioning was interesting there. I suppose the other thing, Finch, if you're able to answer it or not, the 2 Tomcats at the back, we were speculating during the fight as to what they were at when they launched, because it seems to circle around Alain for a long time. Was there a deliberate tactic to space them out, or had they lost sight of each other, or anything there you could share? As I just read the latest, because we're on 30-second delay, obviously Finch won't hear this for a bit, so I just see his current chat coming in. Overall thought it was an attempt to overwhelm the east side, because number 15 had players so defensive, or played so defensive. wanted to close the distance, get behind some of their leading edge. It's always tempting that, isn't it? Get in behind and disrupt. So I think Cougar is the last aircraft of number 15 to land. And I think that is everybody down, so momentarily the server will come down, and that will write the Tacview file for round 2. And if you bear with us, we will download said Tacview files and have a very quick look over them. So while we wait for that, let me come out of DCS. Thank you to number 15, by the way, for going in for landing for the sake of the stream. It is always nice to watch the aircraft do that and give us an opportunity to kind of think about what we've just seen. Again, if folks have comments in chat or things like that, throw them in. We'll have a read over. And the final result here, as we say, is 2-0 to number 15. That is the final score. Alright, so before we jump to getting the Tacviews, if I could find my words again, that'd be wonderful. Let's just have a quick look over catching up on stream stuff. So Bullet came in with some bits. Hello Bullet, thank you for that. You are always welcome, good sir. Howling Matt, thank you for that follow. And Tugboat, thank you for the follow. Good flying. Finch coming back on the previous one. Haven't seen it yet, but Tomcat's lagged, so not exactly what was intended. Interesting, yeah. So as I say, we're going to have a look of the Tacview here, so everyone is welcome, obviously, to stick along, and please do. Hopefully won't be spending too much time on it, just for the interests of everybody's Saturday evening. But it is nice, I feel, in these matches to have a quick look over and see things that we might have missed, or sometimes the parameters of setups, people can take something away from it. You know, for everybody, I think DCS is always a learning opportunity, because God knows you get into a fight and you go, what the hell just happened there? And it's only when you look back on it later that you can sometimes figure it out. Alrighty, so let me throw up the TACT trailer again while I go look for these Tacviews. So stick around, folks, and if you're not sticking around, thank you for coming along. And good fighting to MCPV and to number 15, and congratulations to number 15 for that win.
There's another one!
And we're back, folks. So, thank you to everybody who has hung around. I hope you have enjoyed the fight that we've just seen, and are enjoying your Saturday evening. It is, what, 10 to 10 in the UK, so that is Zulu +1, so 20-50 Zulu. Just catching up on stream chat, some interesting chats and messages is coming along. Mostly both sides just congratulating each other, which is always nice to see, so well done, folks. And we're back, folks. An amazing cinematic from Hector S? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That I should, I think, give a shout out at that point to LA West, who made that incredible TACT trailer. And if you bear with me a moment, I'll just give a link to that YouTube. So if you're not following LA West on YouTube, please go over and give him a sub. The more subs, the more views, the more likes, etc., the better. Go give some love. Alright, that link is in chat for everybody. And let us have a look then at Tacview. I just want to double check that the stream is caught up and that the stream is showing Tacview. It is, so I think we're good to go. And you are still with us, Mr. Octuple.
I am indeed.
Excellent, sir.
Also making sure I'm subscribed to LA West.
Good man. In fact, I should also point out, I forgot to do this in the last time we did this, that you have a YouTube channel, sir.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me get that link and throw it in.
Slightly more embarrassing one, but never mind.
You mean you're not up to LA West standards? What?
Not at all.
Alright, just before we get going there is Mr. Octuplifire's YouTube. If you would like to go along, have a look. He occasionally puts up some very fun and interesting videos from our fights and shenanigans throughout DCS multiplayer. Always some good content, though. So, you get back to that, sir. You'll have people with bated breath here waiting now.
I'll try. Right, shall we get to the...
No, can I embarrass you for a few minutes more first?
That's fine.
Alright. So let us let this thing get rolling. This is round 1. Round 2 Tacview will be writing momentarily in the background. So we are following from the point of view of number 15. And I think this is what you called out at the start, their formation.
Yeah, and I think the first kill is by Vipers, that's what we're looking out for. The Viper in the 14, so... And that was on BGBF, just so we know what to look for.
Roger that. I don't think it was the first Phoenix, however.
No, I don't think it was.
So yeah, interesting. I just want to have a quick look here at these guys. A lot of chaff coming out there from BGBF with the Phoenix coming in. Both of them hit the notch, so nicely done. Although that is still trying to track. I think they're lost, so that's good. Return shot, I think, came from Luck. I think we see one of two things with these long-range Phoenixes and long-range AMRAAMs. Like, Phoenixes more so, it's either spectacular or does nothing.
Yep, and I think that's just the what you get with the Phoenixes. You can either get lucky or they'll just be a deterrent, really.
Yeah, so that's, I think, 4 Phoenixes that Luck fired within the first few minutes of the match. That's incredible use of it.
2 by tugboat as well. I seen 5 in the air there.
Yeah, I think that was 6 Phoenixes total from the 2 Tomcats in the back. If I just slow this down again a moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the one on tugboat? Was this just... No, that's it, it's defeated.
No, it's passing under. AMRAAM's been exchanged on the left. So Finch, if you're still watching, I hope you'll watch back the stream and kind of see the commentary live. One thing we called out was what we were describing as a liberal use of missiles off the bat here. In particular, you know, I think the aggressive attitude has served a lot of squadrons well, but I think primarily the going for high PK shots or higher PK shots might be advisable. A lot of the missiles thrown out here were relatively low PK, like we look the distances involved and the altitudes. They really needed the enemy to fly straight and level into them.
Yeah. I'll say that one there from BGB actually went straight into the mountain there.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, but you do need to close down them ranges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the difference between a defensive shot and an offensive shot.
Because that was a cold shot from Delta on Neo.
That's exactly what I'm looking at here. I'm just going to roll that back quickly, just because to kind of make the point of... Okay, he was hot when it was fired, but we saw...
So fair enough.
Oh, is this a split S or an Immelman? Split S. So Neoshock is defensive immediately, so that's already trashed, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think that number 15 did well throughout this battle, was draw shots out of MCPV. I'm trying to jump onto Viper here. This might be the kill you were talking about. I think it is, actually.
Yeah, I do remember the... it was very slow. It took like a second, almost flying formation with him.
Yeah, so that's the first kill. And from memory, that was about 15 to 20 miles, so... All the AMRAAMs in the world coming back at Gunny.
But this is where I think Tugboat then gets a vengeance for BGBF. I think he actually takes out Viper.
Yeah, like if we look at some of these shots here again, Blah I think was firing 16 miles, he's only down at 10,000 feet. The targets are only about 5 to 10,000, so they're not in thin air. A lot of thick air down here. You know, subsonic shot, it's not going to have huge legs. So which one were you pointing out there, Octuple?
So it's going to be Tugboat the next kill. I'm not sure if it's, again, when this is going to happen.
Was a lovely barrel roll there by Blah. Do a barrel roll. And good evening, Roundabout. Welcome to the stream. We're not imminently shutting down, but we are in the latter stages looking at the Tacview, sir. You are welcome as always. There's an AMRAAM from Vertical Charlie tracking on Tugboat.
Yeah.
But Tugboat breaks away. Gunny with an AMRAAM on luck. That looked like it hit. From Tacview's point of view.
I think this is the one that you called out hit just in front of him. I remember this, I think I missed it myself, but you...
There's a 9M comes off here from luck, I think. There's the 9M. But I wonder if luck was damaged from that AMRAAM. And that's all that he could operate, you know?
Yeah, I think you've missed the kill there. You missed Viper going down.
Yeah, let's roll it back. Where is Viper? Oh yeah, Tugboat gets a Phoenix out on Viper, so there we go.
I think, he just couldn't quite get that notch. He had slightly the wrong angle.
So 12 mile Phoenix, that is a dangerous shot. And the only thing you can do in this situation is go for the notch, and you can just see top down there, it's just off notch. It's just not sufficiently in. So at this stage, what are we down to? 5 MCPV, and luck is about to die. So it's about to become 4 on 5.
I'm not sure. Is this where Blah dies as well?
Cougar and Hellpilot exchanging. I think they both survive.
Yeah, we lost Blah as well from Neo shot.
Let's have a quick look at that again, just in terms of the ranges. That's a 15 mile shot. So more or less go altitude, but Neo shot is supersonic here. Yeah. So it's much more energy behind that.
Blah very slow and getting slower for some reason.
And kind of flew into it. Like if we look at the moment where that where Blah starts defending, I'm just going to invert this. Is still flying hot into it here at the moment. I think that's the shot we're looking for. And rolled it. Rolls at about 3 miles, so it's probably RWR warning.
Yeah, may have thought it was further away, not as aggressive with the defense, but I think he's just too slow at this point.
Yeah, I think that little turn away at the end probably, you know, sealed his fate, rather than trying more for the notch. I mean, it's probably a 50-50, but... It's difficult.
Neo and Hell Pilot going for each other. I think Neo
Dies.
dies, yeah.
Yeah, Hellpilot got the kill there. And this is kind of what we're talking about when we're talking about ranges, that it's this within 10 miles where it's both dangerous and can be not dangerous in the sense of if you can preempt it, then great. But at this point, if we just have a quick look at the range, hang on, other way, it's only 3 miles away when you start defending, and by the time you get vertical, it's 3,700 feet.
So they both going supersonic at the point of when Hell Pilot fired, so
Oh, that's going to have massive closure rate then.
yeah, the closure rate would be huge. Wouldn't have a lot of time.
So Cougar firing on Delta, again that's a kind of sub 10 mile but turning out cold. Ooh, was there a blue on blue here? Or a nearly blue on blue? Vertical Charlie. I think Vertical Charlie did this in the second round potentially too. Well, this is interesting. There's an AMRAAM goes out here. Is that tracking? Oh no, it's tracking Tugboat. That's alright. I thought it was going after Gunny. I was about to tell Vertical Charlie to go learn IFF. Very harshly.
Hell Pilot is who we need to look at now, because I think it's a quick exchange where Hell Pilot managed to chase down Skinner, and then Cougar's obviously trying to help him out, and it's just a bit of a train.
Yeah, that is Hellpilot just dying there, so we're going to go back and just have a better look at that. So Hellpilot takes out Skinner, Cougar takes out Hellpilot. And I think I'm right in saying Delta 4 was Winchester at this point. I think Hellpilot did well here to get the missile away before being killed, but I wonder too whether it was the getting the missile away that ultimately got him killed. That should be defeated there now, but I think it's a new missile that comes in. So we'll go back and just look at Cougar's parameters in range in a second, but that shot on Skinner was very close. Yeah, if we have a look again, that's only 4 miles, and he can't find the notch. And if we look here at the Cougar's range, there we go, 3 miles, and it's not even a cold bandit, but a kind of a flanking cold. So yeah, Hellpilot just was caught in a bad position, really, but at least took Skinner with. And at this stage we were 3 on 2, so Tugboat and the Tomcat, I don't know what happened here.
I think at this point Delta was out of ammo, but yeah, there goes down Tugboat in the north.
I just want to watch that again, because it was such a... I mean, it was a thing. You know, it was a maneuver, but... It was an ill-advised one. So Tugboat just pulls.
Oh yeah, this is where he goes vertical.
Yeah.
Brakes and
Put on the brakes and fly right by. I mean, that's a 4 mile shot uphill. Vertical Charlie is faster. Tugboat is still pulling back, so that range is not, you know, extending, and ends up just flying straight into it. I think if the AMRAAM had missed, that 9M was going to track.
Yeah, he put himself in a bit of a bad position.
In fact, it hit the wreckage there.
I think I was just going out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, I wonder how the field state was, because, like, you know, my advice or, you know, gut feeling on that situation is run to the hills. Get into the hills and they might lose you.
Yeah.
You know, climbing up, you're just making yourself,
yeah, definitely.
How did Delta... How did this miss Delta? We have to watch this slowly. It just wasn't tracking, maybe. Is that what it was? Like, it's almost ballistic downwards here. It doesn't look like it's actually actively trying to track. Except at the last second. Wow, cheap shot, and it just couldn't find him when it went active. That was incredible. Okay, we're gonna have to go back and just watch that quickly. There's a little pirouette or something there that entertained me. I'm not sure, was it Delta 4 that was lagging on the runway in round 2?
Oh, I'm not sure now. I thought it was, I did think it was someone else.
Oh, pilot maybe. Yeah. So there's just a maneuver here. I'm not sure if it's DCS warp or if it's a defensive maneuver. That looks like warp. And then sadly turns back in, and the AMRAAM goes active. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you know, there's not much you can really do. Try and get them into a merge, run, run them out of fuel. That's maybe the only thing. Alright, that was round 1, and at that point, number 15 returned to Kesham. So I'm hoping that the server has been brought down now, so while we just wait for that, let me throw up the schedule on stream again, and I'll just quickly download round 2. Okay folks, so here is round 2. And just to confirm again, Octuple, you can still see my screen?
I can indeed.
Alrighty, I'm just going to hold fire for a moment until stream catches up and I can see that stream is on Tacview. I have made this mistake before. I've also made the mistake where I have been talking for several minutes while muted, so sometimes it's good to wait and hear myself. Okay, I see Tacview. And just to confirm. And I hear my voice, so there we're good. Alrighty, so we are following MCPV at this point, coming out of Alain. The interesting point, again for the point of view of Finch, as we were just saying, so you won't have seen this in the air, the Tomcats were doing some funny stuff back here. I'm not sure if this was a deliberate spacing thing, that they were trying to just let there be a separation to those forward elements, or whether they just kind of lost each other when we're trying to regroup.
Bear with us, I don't think I can actually see. I can see your mouse moving, but I'm not seeing an updated tank view.
Okay, let me stop the screen share and bring it back to you then. Okay, confirm if you can see that, please, sir.
I've got that now.
So you can see Tugboat and Luck, yeah?
Yeah, I've got that.
Excellent, and we're getting some stream chat in here. Sharkin says hello. Hello, Sharkin! Long time no see. Charlie Battleaxes says wrong screen, I think.
Yeah, I think the stream is seeing what I saw, so hopefully...
Oh, okay, I see now. Hang on a second. There's 2 Tacviews open, that's why.
Ah, okay. That's what confused me. I could see your mouse moving over the text. I thought it was updated, but...
I expected Tacview to open the new file on top of the other one instead of opening a second window, so that's what did it. So I'm just going to wait for stream to update. Thank you, Charlie, for that update. And once I see that refresh, I think we'll be good to go. Logan was wondering why there was no audio. Mistakes were made! You know this, you're around my stream long enough. Alright, I can see stream now showing 2 Tomcats. So let's just roll this back a little bit, and then let it run. So while the rest of the flight are pushing forward, and here's Hellpilot on the diversionary exercise, which we now know was deliberate, Luck and Tugboat were trying to find each other by the looks of it. It confused us initially, because I think Luck just said I'm flying this direction, and eventually they kind of caught each other. Because you could see them in trail, and eventually they picked up speed and turned in. But I'm sure there was, you know, fuel wastage as such there. And thank you, Charlie, for confirmation that they can see it and it's all good now, so that's fine. Tomcats are together. I'm going to pause quickly and jump to the fight because missiles are in the air. So, Mr. Octuple, what should we be looking at for here?
It's actually Luck that goes down first. It was that long shot from Gunny, if I remember correctly.
Right, so the Tomcat in the back.
Yeah. But I think we do have a lot of missiles out. The initial engagement here again.
Yeah, this Phoenix from Viper on Hellpilot was dangerous, but Hellpilot did well to just get the notch. Similarly, some AMRAAMs coming from Delta 4 and Finch. Skinner doing well, getting in the notch from those and just turning out. Let's change back at Delta 4.
Curious whether the 15 guys actually knew that Hellpilot was on his own, that lone ship, and actually decided to put a bit of pressure, because I know it's Vertical Charlie pushing in on him as well now.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming Charlie Battleaxes is Vertical Charlie, so perhaps you can tell us. I love, by the way, I'm just going to rewind this, but I love when we're watching a fight like this with a static camera, and then out of nowhere in comes a Phoenix from the bottom of the screen. It just makes me laugh. Now that's probably, what, 40 plus miles that came in at, but Phoenix! There's Phoenix from Luck trying to track. Some more liberal use of Phoenixes from the back here.
Yeah, and this is where we see Hellpilot. That west flank has now just collapsed, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I'll go back and just have a quick look at that in more detail in a moment. What I want to do here is just roll back, because I think this might be where Gunny gets a long shot on Luck. I mean, a lot of these Phoenixes, again, it'll be interesting if Finch or any of the Tomcat guys could tell us whether this is Jester just losing track, or the fact that we've got a lot of maneuvering jets. Because those long Phoenixes, you really need the Bandit to be non-maneuvering, kind of just flying straight and level into you.
This is where I was thinking maybe Hellpilot drag some of them, get close enough just to be the bait.
Yeah, exactly, like keep them on a constant bearing. And then the Phoenixes will have a better PK. So that's a 22-mile shot from Gunny, about 17,000 feet. That's going uphill on Luck, who is at 46,000 feet. Good Tomcat territory, but you're vulnerable up there.
Yeah.
And there it is, tried to run away from it and couldn't find the notch. And I feel that pain. I've been up there myself, kind of asleep at the wheel, if you like, in a Tomcat. I remember taking a 50 to 55 mile bullet AMRAAM from Bullet once, like that, and yeah, wasn't pretty.
The low-high shots are difficult to defend because ideally you want to dive down into the thicker air, but essentially you're just diving back down into it, so you're just closing the range again. So
exactly, yeah.
Unless you know it's coming, you even need to run away or notch it.
Yep, agreed. I mean, sometimes it's trying to defend vertically upwards, away from the ground, you know, and just use gravity to fight the missile, but it's, again, difficult to have all those parameters to know what is the correct course. We'll just keep an eye on Hellpilot here.
I think, have we lost Finch yet? No, it's going to be Finch.
This is Finch's. Yeah, use a little laser pointer here to highlight Finch. And Hellpilot's just turning and burning in the center here, trying to draw things. I think it was
3 Phoenixes out from south there.
I'm not even sure who they're tracking on, and
yeah,
I think you're right. Like, if Hellpilot had been able to draw south into the Tomcats and maybe get Neoshot or Vertical Charlie to follow, then you might be able to get them to fly that constant bearing where a Phoenix can surprise them. But I think this is roughly, I want to say, the point where I think your comment was that it felt like all the formations are kind of broken down. and
Yeah,
there was just fighting happening and missiles flying.
It's like Viper looks like he's out of position. Gunny's not in a great spot. He can probably support Vertical Charlie a bit. Yeah, it didn't feel like there was a properly front line.
Yeah, I mean, Gunny is 8 miles from Vertical Charlie, Viper in the Tomcats 16 miles out. Okay, Phoenix is with range, but see previous comment about flying straight. Ooh. Shift clicking, cool. I never use these kind of Tacview presentation things, so it's always funny to, you know, find the little shortcuts. So I'm going to let this roll forward, but I think what we see is just a big fight in the middle and Finch keeps going north. I'm just having a look at chat here quickly. Charlie Battleaxes, our formation caters to diversions by the enemy.
It's a close missile on luck. Yeah, that's the one where he goes down, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, because with so much happening at once. So Hellpilot Fox is on Gunny. Gunny defends. I think Finch is about to get killed in the north. This right here, holy shit. I want to see a clip of this from the stream. Because this AMRAAM was like so goddamn close to that Viper. In fact, I'm going to look at it from the AMRAAM's point of view and just slow this down. I think this is the moment, alright? It just gets in under the underside. I was like, where is the proximity fuse? You know, why DCS? Why? It's just so close. Like 78 feet, it's just crazy. I just happened to be in the missile at the time and saw it in third person on the stream, but yeah. Alright, so that fight goes on in the middle. Let's have a quick look at Finch. And I just want to see, so defending missiles and dies. So I think sadly just got overextended here. You know, by the time they're foxing on him and Finch is running towards Kassab, the nearest friendlies are 15 miles away and there's 2 bandits between. And it's a very difficult situation when you get caught out of position, I think. I mean, at this stage there are 5 MCPV up, and then Finch dies, so we're down to 4. And then we lose Delta 4 here, so we're down to 3. So very quickly. And even then we had, I think, Luck dying, so it was within about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, you had 3 people die in completely different positions. And suddenly now it's just, you know, kind of falling apart for MCPV. There's another one dead.
Pilot, yeah. And the tugboat's probably going to go down here.
Yeah.
And it goes.
God, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that hit actually. I mean, that's probably within about 3 minutes max. You go from... Was that from 6 to 0, or was that from 5 to 0?
It would have been from 6 to 0.
I'm just going to get a timestamp, and I'm not trying to highlight this from a point of view of, you know, things go badly or anything like that. Like, it's more just... It's amazing sometimes when you look at these sort of engagements how everything can happen at once. And I think when you see this sort of thing happen, it's just worth looking at, really, you know? I'm just seeing a message in chat. Drona, hello, welcome. Prox fuse at DCS is 7 meters or 7 feet. Wow. 77 feet. Proximity fuse activate, says look. Well, look, it felt closer than that. You know how DCS is. Okay, so we are at 090130, and the time in the top left. Luck dies, and we'll just roll it forward. So within about 2.5 minutes, I think the other 5 had died. And we're going to get up here to nearly exactly 4 minutes, and it's just kind of gone at that point. It's just incredible, you know. Again, without trying to sound, I don't know, difficult. What's the word I'm looking for here, Octuple? I'm trying to caveat what I'm saying. Cruel, exactly. Thank you. I don't want to sound cruel about this, because I think it's always a learning opportunity. And
it is what it is, sadly. But there's definitely points to be taken away, and probably from both teams. But I know number 15 guys are obviously experienced. They've done this before, and it wasn't a bad showing from the MCPV guys.
not at all, no. And like I think that the key thing I want to say here is pretty much what I'd said in the stream itself, which was, you know, the PvP DCS, or just generally multiplayer DCS, it comes down to two big things, which is communication and situational awareness. And there's no shortcut to either of those. You know, you kind of have to fight it out and to get the experience and to get everything else. And, you know, it's very easy for me to sit here and kind of make comments on what we're seeing with Tacview or in the stream. You know, it's much more difficult to be in the pit, in the thick of it, you know, making those split-second decisions. So I always try to caveat these sort of commentaries with that. And for the MCPV guys, like, this has been a good showing, absolutely. And, you know, I hope that you'll take away a lot of learnings from it and keep at it, because, you know, comms and SA, as I say, it's down to experience. So the more you do it, the better that will get, and the better gelling. You know, and I think the other thing, of course, is, as was relayed to us, that, you know, there were a lot of scheduling conflicts, which meant the squadron flew with some mercenaries at the last second, and anyone coming in from a different squadron trying to, you know, fight with someone else they're not familiar with is difficult. So it's kind of difficult for everyone all around at that point.
Yeah, it's very easy to think. I've been in competitions before when I've not been experienced as a squadron, and everyone, I say, especially myself, when I first did it, you get involved in your own fight. You forget the bigger picture. You're just trying to survive and get kills yourself. You're not trying to mutually support.
Yeah, you become tunnel visioned, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And that's where, like, discipline comes down, which I think the experienced squadron members obviously realise, like, don't push them too hard. Stay with your friendlies. Basically, hold the line. Essentially.
Yeah.
Don't overextend. Don't leave you guys hanging.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the description. Like, the phrase that always sits with me from the time that we did that sort of training was, the bucket becomes full. There's only so much that you can take in at once until you get a lot of experience at it, and then you can take in more. But even then, it's a challenge, and it's very easy to become just saturated with information, with what's going on, with, you know, link, with comms, with your radar, with what you're seeing. And, you know, RWR, it's just everything. It happened to me frequently with the Hornet and the Viper, even in recent weeks, you know. And I think it does easily, you know, it's very easy at that point to kind of just mentally shut down some of those bits of information, like stop looking at the RWR, or stop looking at link, or stop listening to certain comms, and as you say, fight your own fight. And that's all just down to experience in the long run.
Yeah.
You kind of fight through it.
And just going back to the plans of Alpine on the west side, it's great to have a plan, but it's even better to keep it simple. Something I always got told in joining my army: the best laid plan doesn't survive the first contact. It will always go wrong somewhere.
It all turns to shit.
Yeah, but just keeping it simple, as I say, keeping that formation, like, right, going to keep it simple. We're going to go in the line. Make sure you're within 20 miles of the flight next year, and just keep that grinder going, and always have someone hot, have someone cold, and just repeat and rotate, and then you'll have that pressure constantly, and you won't have any weak spots.
Yeah, I think that's, again, exactly as you say there, that there was just a point where, for both sides, it felt like those initial setups fell apart, and then recovering from that is very difficult. Again, we kind of saw it yesterday with the Bravo and VTAF guys versus Toro, where the more experienced squadron kind of lost their position and had to keep falling back, and never got an opportunity to kind of regroup or become offensive again. So, you know, it's very difficult.
Yeah. As I say, the 15 guys did well. Even I said that both the formations broke down, but I think when you looked at the actual ranges there, they're only 50 miles apart. All they had to do is rotate that line round, in which they did. Viper on the outside obviously just had to swing it round.
All right.
Say, if we got desperate, Viper could have just gone straight in and helped whoever out.
Yeah, that's it, of course, you know. I think both squadrons will hopefully take these Tacviews away and have a good analysis of it and, you know, come back stronger for the next matches. I think I'm right in saying this is the first match for both squadrons. However, I may also be right in saying that number 15 won their match with Outer Heaven because Outer Heaven conceded, so that should be 2 wins for number 15, which means that they will win the group now and proceed to the knockout stage. So, sorry.
The comment from Fat Blast in my bucket is small.
It's one of those things that takes a lot of practice, you know.
Yeah.
And as I say, like I say this with as much modesty as I can muster, but I like to think of myself decent at PvP and information, but I get overloaded quite a lot with the jets I don't fly much, like the Hornet and the Viper, with all the SA they offer you now. And, you know, I've streamed in the last few months where I've flown them and had moments where I've just been completely overloaded and called it out as such, so, you know, it happens, everybody. And that's the important thing. It's all about hours in the pit with certain things and certain situations in that regard.
Yeah, getting the basics right, getting them as second nature so you don't have to worry about them.
Exactly. Alrighty, so I think that is probably as much debrief as we should go into at this stage, so let us quickly wrap up by saying congratulations to number 15. As I say, they're progressing through now to the knockout stage if I haven't gotten that wrong, and commiserations to MCPV, but a good showing nonetheless. I'm sure you guys will take all that on and have a good next match against Outer Heaven. Hopefully that will go ahead as planned. I think I may be even streaming that one. Let me check the calendar quickly. Yes, 17th of July if all goes to plan, which should be this day 2 weeks. Alright, so before we fully wrap up this match, let's do the usual thing of plugging what else is coming up in TACT. So we have 2 matches on tomorrow. Both of them at 1900 Zulu, the usual time. Every time Kebab asks me, it's become a meme at this point. So 104th Maverick will be streaming HH versus SF, and Haramisi, our good friend Misi, will be streaming Bravo versus D3W. And I think, personally speaking, that will be a close one to watch, having watched the Bravo VTAF guys fight yesterday. And then, of course, we have, I think I'm right in saying, 4 matches next weekend. That may be 5. I'm going to have to double check the Mavericks one when it got rescheduled to. Give me 10 seconds. So it is moved to the 10th, okay. So that means we have 5 matches next weekend. I will be streaming the first one on the 10th, 1600 Zulu, just to be different, and that's DCS half versus the 343rd. So our good friends, the Japanese squadron there, and all their lovely pronunciations will come back to haunt us. And then there will be 2 matches at 1900 Zulu. So there will be the rescheduled TFT versus PTF, 104th Maverick will be hosting that. And then there will be TMC versus TAW at 1900 Zulu, hosted by Deliverator, with his incredible multi-camera setup. For anyone who saw the stream last night, or it didn't, check back on the VOD. He did a really, really good job with the production value there. And then 2 matches next Sunday, the 11th, so both at 1900 Zulu. First one is Alamo versus Leading E. That'll be hosted by Tricker. And then the second one will be One Trick Pony versus ECV56, the Condors. And that'll be streamed by Missy. I should be paid per plug for this sort of thing, honestly. I find myself falling into the same pattern so often. Anywho, keep an eye out, folks. Look back on the VODs. Keep an eye on the TACT Discord if you're not there. Check the ED forum post. But for now, this has been MCPV versus number 15 Battleaxes. Thank you, Mr. Octuplefire, for your company and for your commentary. It's a pleasure having you along.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And thank you all very much for coming along and sticking with this. So we will hopefully chat to you soon. For anyone who wants to watch some more DCS shenanigans In the general sense, I will be bringing this stream to a close momentarily, but we'll be streaming again most likely within the next 10-15 minutes or so in usual shenanigans. So hopefully we'll see some folks around for that. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, whatever there is left in your time zone. Talk to you soon, and take care.